or how can we get bigger? Because bigger is not necessarily better. This is our home. This is where our families are. This is where our friends are. And this is where we're going to stay. Offices, Jacksonville.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting!
Join Macy's and Trust for Public Land to bring more parks to more people across the country now during Earth Month. Throughout April, you can help turn bare schoolyards into vibrant parks that communities can use outside school hours. Just donate online to Trust for Public Land or round up your Macy's store purchase up to 99 cents and donate the extra change. Give back today and find out how we're helping people and the planet thrive together now and all year round at Macys.com/purpose.
Hicken here. If you're looking for a winning team to clean your carpets and tile, Zero Res, #1 in the country for customer satisfaction, and they were named Franchise of the Year. No surprise to me, I've had Zero Res clean my home for years, and man, there's nothing better than coming home to a clean house by Zero Res. The smell, the look, it's awesome. Right now, get 2 rooms of carpet cleaning the staircase for $148. Savings of $30. Remember, folks, Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey guys, I'm Daniel Heilman from the brand new Fourscore Golf Tavern. We do elevated food, drinks, and golf simulator fun. If you're looking for a delicious meal or maybe a spot for a client, we have lunch specials every day. Need to entertain a few people from out of town? Easy. Just reserve one of our 4 simulator bays. Lunch service starts at 11 a.m. daily. Located in San Marcos Square, we'll see you at lunch at Fourscore Golf Tavern.
Now is the perfect time to make sure your home is protected from storms by scheduling a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. Protect your biggest investment, your home. Get a free wind mitigation with your full roof replacement plus a free Platinum Protection Warranty upgrade. This offer expires April 30th and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330147, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Monahan Jewelers is your local family jeweler for 44 years with a huge selection of GIA-certified diamonds, gold, fine gemstone and diamond jewelry, and designer brands from all over the world. With our interest-free financing, we make it easy to acquire the perfect gift. Monahan Jewelers also specializes in custom jewelry design with thousands of customers all across Jacksonville. Come experience our beautiful selection of fine jewelry at your local family jeweler, Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
T-minus 48. That is where we are at, and the clock is ticking. Tick, tick, tick away. Another day, another major rumor. This time on college football Reddit. Well, I read it, and I was like, what? I mean, you got to be kidding me. It's almost like you're going to be putting folks out of business. We spend weeks, we spend months on the draft, and look at everything that has changed here in the 11th hour. If news is breaking now, NFL draft related, it's not good. You don't want anything coming out about you. Outside, I guess, of Will Levis, who, of course, yesterday we talked about how out of nowhere he went from who knows where he'll end up, maybe the fourth quarterback selected, all of a sudden becoming the second player selected in Las Vegas. Then today there was a report out that he was creeping the number one. And apparently, according to College Football Reddit, Will Levis was telling those close to him that he was going to get snatched up by the Carolina Panthers with their top pick. Today, Carolina did say that they have a consensus pick. All right, their head coach, Frank Reich, in fact, did state that, but we'll sit back and we will wonder. It's been an interesting journey. It looked like it was going to be Bryce Young for the longest period of time. Then it became C.J. Stroud. We heard that, 5'8.5" or whatever it is for Young, they want a bigger, they want a taller quarterback. Then again, that changed. And, unfortunately, there's been some very unfortunate reports on C.J. Stroud. Not necessarily as what he's done on the field, but just his mental capacity, his ability to make decisions, split-second decisions. That 18% that he got on the C2 exam has been hovering all over him. It's the lowest grade that we have ever seen for anything like that. And again, that was released. That was leaked, which I think is incredibly disappointing. But things are leaked for a reason. Things are said for a reason. I got some interesting texts a night ago that I didn't get an opportunity to get to because we were too busy. But I remember one from last night that said, Ballou, do you think Houston is the major principal in leaking the Will Levis stuff because they're trying to force a move from below them? And yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense if you can get away with it. Okay, there's only a very few people, I would think, that are actually in the know, and we'll see what does transpire. But it's going to be intriguing tonight, if anything breaks, certainly tomorrow. And then we'll be with you. We'll be doing our shows at 6 o'clock on Thursday night. We'll take you right up until draft coverage. They'll go through the dog and pony portion of it at 8, and Roger Goodell will come out, and, the guy makes $64 million a year, and he'll go through his little rendition where he's going to fire it up and rub elbows with the NFL fans live in Kansas City, and then he'll say, the Carolina Panthers are on the clock, and we're going to have to wait that entire first round, which is, I believe it's still 15 minutes. Is it 10 or 15? I think it's still 15.
I'm not sure, but the Jags are estimating, I saw an email today, 10:30-ish.
Yeah.
Which is sort of what we guessed.
It's going to be a late night, 10:30. Yes. So, there you have it. And, the reputation that is both in San Francisco and in Jacksonville with Trent Baalke is he is a man who likes to move up. He does not normally move back. He moved up a year ago. He went from number 33, first pick in the second round, and made that deal with Tampa Bay, sent over 3 picks to snatch up Devin Lloyd with the 27th selection. Of course, he also had Trayvon Walker, who he picked with the first overall Jacksonville Jaguar pick. Those two coming in the first round back in 2022. So we got a lot to do tonight. It's good to have you with us. We love late nights around here alongside JJ LaSalva. I am Rick Ballou. We're with you each and every night from 6 to 8, except for tonight, where we come on after the ladies of helmets and heels. And we love it. For us, it's an honor to come on after them and then kind of pave the way to Hacker Nation. So, that's the way we do it here on a Tuesday, and this one is the final Tuesday of April. And getting home last night was one of the most sensational evenings of sports in 3 different varieties last night. Okay, first off, what about the Tampa Bay Rays? We'll start in the middle part of the state, then we'll head down. Tampa Bay last night, 14 straight home games. You got to go back to the Detroit Wolverines of 1886.
One of my favorite teams.
Yes, the last time to find a club that won more at home than what Tampa has actually done in St. Petersburg. The Wolverines won 18 in a row, again in 1886. Tampa Bay wins again last night, 14 consecutive games. They are not playing on this Tuesday. I'm just double-checking, but I know I looked at it this morning. So they're off today.
Which is no, they're playing right now. They're down 5-0 actually.
Where the heck is it? All right, yeah, they are down 5-0 to Houston. Yeah, I was going to say, typically teams do play on a Tuesday.
Right. So this might be the end.
We'll see.
We're in the 5th.
They're 14-0 at home, 20-3 overall. This is a team that is, constantly looked over for so many different reasons. I mean, they're in there with the big boys, with Boston and New York, and even though Boston's become somewhat of a small market team as of late, Tampa Bay is so they're such a well-managed baseball club, and then on top of that, they get incredible production out of their own. And this is really a phenomenal story to watch. But early on in this game, or I guess we're at the midway point now, 5th inning, tonight at the Trop, are the Rays facing their first home loss of the season. Houston again up 5-0. Secondly, let's get down to Miami. Incredible victory by the Heat, 56 points from Jimmy Butler, including 21 in the fourth quarter. I had it on, but I'll be honest with you, most of my attention was on the hockey, and I'm going to bounce back because that's the only losing effort out of the 3 in this state as we go from the Rays to the Heat, then back to the Tampa Bay Lightning. But Jimmy Butler had 56 last night. And, I'm watching all of these events transpire in my bar, and I'm also on the Twitter machine, and I'm seeing what players are saying and what others are saying. The love that came in for Jimmy Butler last night was pretty cool. I mean, you look at his peers and you look at others, and it seemed like, you couldn't go a couple of comments away from someone having to bring up, his time spent in Philadelphia and what the 76ers would be like if they still had him. And we know right now that Philadelphia is sitting there waiting to see what Boston will do. And in that matchup tonight against Atlanta, where they are playing in the hub, they are just underway in the second quarter. The Atlanta Hawks, a 13-point underdog, had a 3-point first quarter lead, and right now they are up 33-32. Again, just a couple of minutes into quarter number 2. Jimmy Butler, 56 points. I did not know, with all the great Heat players over the years, that he was the first ever member of the Miami Heat to go north of 50.
And he's only, in the playoffs.
Right.
There's only been like a handful of guys. I saw last night, of course, Jordan did it 8 times.
I remember when Jordan did it against Boston.
And lost.
In 86, he had like 63 in a losing effort.
That just shows the clowns that he had around him on
that
team.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
No doubt about it.
But, yeah, Jimmy Butler's one of these guys that you would never say is a top 10 player. He probably wouldn't say he's a top 20 player. But, man, when it's time in the playoffs and he has these games out of nowhere, he did in the finals a couple years ago, like, I'm positive he's going to have like a 20-point performance next game. But he does this. He's like the guy. He's one of the players in the game that can just go off out of nowhere, but he's not quite a superstar. It's odd.
The Bucks back home. Did I hear you say earlier you still think the Bucks win this series?
I do.
Think they're going to win 3 in a row?
I do. I think they're definitely going to win next game in Milwaukee. And if they can steal Game 6 on the road, I wouldn't even say steal. They're just the better team overall. I mean, I think they have probably, out of the 7 best players in the league, they probably have like 5 of them. Probably 5 of them. I would say Jimmy and maybe Bam Adebayo. But besides that, it's a weird team. And, I expect them to win 3 in a row, actually.
Typically, in a 7-game set, the best team's going to win. Okay,
almost always in basketball.
You can get an upset here and there in those one-game series, whether it's college football playoffs or the NFL playoffs. But when you settle in for 7, like you do this time of year, both on ice and on the hardwood, typically the best team wins. Not always. last night in Tampa as well was just a shock for the Lightning. And frankly, I don't know if they're going to be able to get back off the mat after this. I mean, they're up 4-1 with 10 minutes to go. And Toronto didn't do anything special. They just put the puck on the net. And, I often talk about, I love numbers. I love statistics. You can look at Jimmy Butler. He had 56 last night. I noticed Brook Lopez had 36. Well, if you're looking at just points per game, I've always said it this way. If you're getting 20 a night, that's great. But are you getting 20 a night, taking 12 shots and getting to the free throw line, 7 or 8 times? Or are you getting 20 a night because you're taking 17, 18 shots? And to me, shots on goal in the National Hockey League can be a very misleading statistic because I think in a perfect scenario, you want good quality shots, right? You want to be able to make that extra pass, get in the shooter's lane, and actually have a real good opportunity of firing that puck at the goaltender. However, when you're trailing 3-1 and nothing's working, that goes away. It simply becomes put the puck towards the net, and that is exactly what happened last night with Austin Matthews and Tampa Bay. They got 3 goals last night that were as average as the day was long, but they just kept the pressure. Tampa Bay went into a Jacksonville Jaguar January of 2018 offensive style of football, trying to watch the clock tick away. It was awful, and it had to have been terrible for the Lightning fans who were there and were able to watch this as it happened live. I mean, Tampa Bay just took over with 10 minutes to go. And then during the overtime period, they came back and won it in the first couple of minutes. And, I remember when this happened, I joke with Toronto going into the series because Toronto is, I want to say they're second all time. They're only behind Montreal when it comes to Stanley Cups that have been won. Okay, I want to say they've got like 13 Stanley Cups, but they haven't won it since 1967. And they haven't advanced to the second round of the NHL playoffs since 2004. As a matter of fact, back in 2013, they were in an exact same situation. I remember it like it was yesterday. The Boston Bruins were down 4-1 in the third period of a Game 7. And Boston got 3 straight goals, including Patty Bergeron, did very similar to what we saw last night late in the game for Toronto. Just threw the puck at the net, and there was a lot of chaos out in front of the goaltender, and it just found its way through. You talk about dirty goals. You talk about deflections. You talk about tips. Austin Matthews' tip on his second goal last night was supreme talent in front, on the biggest stage. It was just sensational to watch. But Toronto's always on the opposite side of this. Again, they've really been snake bitten. They are one of the original 6 NFL franchises, but they have not been able to win games and move on in series. They do that last night, and I got to tell you, I think it's over now for Tampa Bay. The series will shift back to Toronto coming up for Game 5 on Thursday night. But in a situation like that, I think you're better off if you were Tampa, if you lost last night 6-2, than to blow a 4-1 lead the way that you did at home and then lose in overtime. So I'm sure the Lightning, they're tournament tested. They got a lot of players there who have hoisted Lord Stanley Cup. They have arguably the best goaltender of the last 10-plus years in Vasilevsky, but I'll be surprised if they're able to bounce back and get back into this series on Thursday night.
Is that who you guys are playing?
No, yes, winner of that series.
So are you worried about Toronto?
I'm worried about everyone. No, Toronto's a good team. Toronto's a very good team. Tampa Bay is a very good team. I think the Florida Panthers are still going to have a say, even though they're down 3-1. How about the New Jersey-New York series where the road team has won all 4 games so far? I mean, the Devils host game 1 and 2, and the Rangers pound them. And then New York, in their own building, okay, in Madison Square Garden, they allow New Jersey to roll in there, win a 1-goal game. Then they got an empty netter last night by Jack Hughes. So they win what would have really been 2 1-goal games. They added on a second last night, as I just said. But how do you explain that series when you've got the road team winning each and every one of the first 4? This is another reason why the NHL playoffs are just so dynamic. And these players they're wired so indifferently. It's like home ice doesn't mean anything to them. And certainly we know what it means in the NBA,
Out of all the
NFL,
sports,
and MLB.
Do you think that's probably the least home field advantage?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Without question. Without question. And, I'll give you a couple of examples why you should have heard the crowd or the lack thereof it last night at Madison Square Garden. I mean, those are rabid New York Ranger fans. You could hear a pin drop in that place.
And I bet just because of the proximity,
right?
There's probably a lot of Devils fans.
Sure. Yeah, sure, but
David Putty included.
Yep.
It's a Seinfeld joke.
But okay, but I mean, it's an emotional game, and crowd's a huge factor in hockey. But I don't know what it is, and I've asked this question for decades because it's always felt this way. And there's something about, and I've heard every excuse from being home, being with your family, having to get tickets for everyone and do all that. I'm like, well, then how is that different from any other playoff, whether it's baseball, basketball, or football? I wish someone could tell me a real good reason why this is in hockey, because I honestly do not know what the answer is.
Baseball, it seemingly you wouldn't think it's a big deal, but they literally have – it's one of the only sports where you have an advantage in the rules as a home team.
Mm-hmm.
You have last at bat.
Right.
So you might think like, the crowd isn't really going to sway umps' decisions that much. What is home field advantage in baseball really? But the rules are just different. Basketball, I think the crowd can get on the refs pretty easily. They're right on top of you. I think that goes a long way. Sight lines even, you play on that court half the season. You're used to it.
May know the rims.
Exactly.
A little bit better.
I guess. Football, crowd is so important, especially for the refs. On defense, on offense, you have a hard time hearing if the crowd's too there. Hockey, I just don't know enough about the sport. But, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal.
Good stuff going on tonight in the NHL. Islanders up 2-0 underway in the second period. Carolina trying to close out NYI. What did you tell me earlier after 20 minutes of play? This is the first time the Islanders have had a playoff lead.
After the end of the first period in 24 straight playoff games. So I'm assuming they haven't had a lot of recent playoff success.
No.
Yeah.
But do you realize right before and Gretzky had been playing, but right before Wayne Gretzky and the great Edmonton Oilers went on that run of 4 cups in 5 years, that the New York Islanders won 4 straight Stanley Cups.
Wow. I didn't know that.
We lost 2 legends late last year in Mike Bossy and Clark Gillies, who were a huge part of that, along with Brian Trottier and, Nystrom and Dennis Potvin and Glenn Resch and Billy Smith. I mean, just so many phenomenal players. But what they did back then, and that's when you had those roles with dynasties. You had the Canadian, in the early 70s, you had the Bruins, then you had the Flyers, and then you had the Canadians, and then you went to the Islanders, and then you went to the Oilers. And then after that, it got a little scattered. I mean, we ended up having some success, obviously, with Detroit and Colorado, and then Chicago, and Pittsburgh's had a nice little run, and Tampa Bay.
But now I feel like it's been like a lot of
one and done
wide
wide open
recently.
as of late. Yeah.
Besides Tampa, of course.
So that's going on right now. Islanders up 2-0 underway in the second. The Wild trailing in Dallas right now. That series locked at 2, 1-0 Dallas. And then late night tonight, maybe the best series out west. Okay, L.A. and Edmonton. Fired up to watch this. They'll drop the puck at 9:30. That is Game 5 back in Edmonton. A very important game out there tonight. As we have said, this matchup between Boston and Atlanta. Boston's a huge favorite, 13 points. Right now they're up 3, 49-46, 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Coming up at 9 o'clock tonight, Timberwolves and Nuggets. Does Denver close out Minnesota tonight?
Probably. That series shouldn't even still be going. They had to win in overtime in Game 4 just to keep it going, but I think that one's in the going to be wrapped up. Also, the other one at 10 o'clock seems like a good series because of how close it is and how good the Clippers have played. But now with Kawhi out, it's like you don't expect them to do anything. So I think that series is over as well.
We don't talk as much as far as lines in the NBA like we do with the NFL and like we do with college football. But look at the 3 lines tonight. Okay, Boston was a 13-point favorite over Atlanta. Denver's a double-digit 10-point favorite over Minnesota. Phoenix is a 12.5-point home favorite tonight against the Los Angeles Clippers.
Smash the underdogs, folks. I mean, like, I maybe not the second game, but those are huge numbers for playoff games.
All at home. We'll see if they are able to get it done tonight and all advance until the second round. That would be the Celtics, the Nuggets, and the Suns.
Those are juicy. Second round matchups, for as bad as some of these first round ones have been, they should be just.
Yeah, and listen, Boston needs to win tonight because they don't want Philadelphia to rest anymore. For that simple reason.
Especially with Embiid hurt.
Yeah. All right. Jaguars, you ask. Right. Absolutely. Let's get into it. 641-1010. We're less than 48 hours away. Any Jaguar draft-related question, I never, kind of give you the smorgasbord because it's lazy. It's just bad. It's not good radio. But when we're 48 hours away from the draft, and we have looked at this every way possible. I have given you my opinion time and again. JJ has shared your opinion. We've brought on all of these different analysts. We're really up against it. So tonight is a tremendous opportunity for you to tell us exactly what you believe Jacksonville is going to do. Again, that pick's probably not coming until sometime around 10:30 on Thursday night. But let's get from you on it on our text line. That's 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. With you tonight till 10 o'clock alongside JJ. My name is Rick Ballou.
Did you see that guy?
Tom McManus.
That is the toughest man I've ever seen in my life.
Catch Tommy Mack with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Fridays on Jaguars Today, 10 to noon on 1010XL.
Attention car buyers, are you in the market for a new vehicle? Are you noticing markups on vehicles on dealers' lots? Well, come to Key Buick GMC, where we never have markups on our vehicles. Ask for Derek or Steve, where we have fair value pricing, no additional markups, as well as the only Buick GMC dealer with a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new Buicks and GMCs. We are professional grade, across from Tinseltown on the corner of Southside and Gate, or go to KeyBuickGMC.com.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Crystal, COO with Remedy Staffing. As employers, labor trends continue to keep us guessing. Is the job market strong? And what is worker availability going to look like? Well, February's BLS job report indicated that we have a hot job market and that Jacksonville's unemployment rate is 2.5%, 1% lower than our national average. So if you're interested in workforce solutions and how our team can help you, please call or text me at 904-329-9802.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Now is the perfect time to make sure your home is protected from storms by scheduling a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roofing Contracting. Protect your biggest investment, your home. Get a free wind mitigation with your full roof replacement plus a free Platinum Protection Warranty upgrade. This offer expires April 30th and restrictions apply. Universal Roofing Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 123-0147, CBC 125-8484.
UniversalRoof.com.
He doesn't live in the water.
What's going on here? Get him in the boat. Get him in the boat.
But he practically lives on it.
Nice. Woo!
Captain Kevin in the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Brought to you by Houston's Meats.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
You love free. And at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal.
Cheer on your Jacksonville Sharks Sunday, April 30th, 4 o'clock at the ViStar Arena and see the Sharks smash their in-state rivals, the Orlando Predators. With tickets as low as $15, you can't find this kind of family affordable fun anywhere else. Join us for our exclusive movie night. Strut down the red carpet. Pose for the paparazzi. Shark Tank Sunday, April 30th, 4 o'clock at the ViStar Memorial Arena. For tickets as low as $15, call 904-621-0700 or check out jacksharks.com. Come dressed to impress. Fins up.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Covered up, ladies. A little chilly today. I mean, it was like in the mid-70s, chilly for me. I'm chilly in the morning when I get up. And some raindrops, so dodge those bad boys. And stay safe out there. Okay? I study an awful lot about serial killers, and serial killers would knock off prostitutes and transients because they would go missing, and people were just like, well, I'm sure they just made their way down the highway to another city. And then you've got the second most infamous serial killer in our state was a prostitute, in Eileen Wuornos. Pretty weird, huh?
Very weird, very ironic, I guess you could say. Speaking of serial killers,
Mm-hmm.
I watched Natural Born Killers for the first time in my life a couple nights ago, and I loved it. And I am ashamed that I went 33 years without watching that movie. I guess you wouldn't call them serial killers. I guess they were mass murderers. Is there a difference? Like the guy
Bonnie and
in,
Clyde, spree shooters, kind of.
Okay, so the guy in Washington D.C. area in the early 2000s who
the sniper.
was smoking people from the back of his car. That's not a serial killer.
In my opinion, it's not.
Okay.
That's spree shooting. Unfortunately, these people who break into wherever, including schools, that's
not a serial killer.
Serial killing to me is a planned out process where they don't expect to get caught. Eileen Wuornos left stuff all over the place. But then again, she said she did it in self-defense. I mean, you look at the I-5 killer or Gary Ridgway has the most all time, the Green River killer, feasted on prostitutes.
They just no, you're not going to go file a missing persons report. When Charlene, you haven't seen her in a couple weeks. I'm not familiar with Randall Woodfield.
The I-5 killer?
Yeah.
Well, Ann Rule is one of the best true crime.
Oh, he got drafted in the NFL.
Yeah.
17th round. I love the old 1980s and 70s drafts.
Ann Rule's great. If you want true crime, and she's been gone now for a number of years, but she was a former cop. She actually worked in a rape prevention crisis camp next to Ted Bundy. Okay, and her great book, A Stranger Beside Me. But yeah, that's it. And Dahmer did the same thing. Dahmer went into Milwaukee and picked out kind of loners, and he did that in gay bars and bathhouses, but weren't exactly people that were expected to be home to have dinner with 4 to 5 other people in their family. And John Gacy did the same thing when he'd pick off single individuals that were kind of making their way from one part of town to another. So yeah, that's always been.
It's hard to
for the
be
most
a
part to
serial
target
killer nowadays. I feel like
it's almost impossible. I don't think. I mean, there's got to be some, but the combination of surveillance and forensics, you can't pull it off anymore.
Cell phones and
just everything.
They're tracking you wherever you go.
Yep.
We have 11 currently active serial killer unsolved cases. The Long Island serial killer, but that's from 96 to 2010, still on the run.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different theories there. That's right up there with the Zodiac killer, in San Francisco. Those are the two that I don't think they're ever going to find.
Yeah, they think they're a woman and a man. Jeff Davis, 8 killers. That is Jefferson Davis Parish. That's in Louisiana. But like you said, that's from 2005 to 2009. The West Mesa Bones Collector. That's around 2009-ish. We don't know. The case is still open today. And then in Brazil, which, yeah, I guess in other countries it's a lot easier to pull stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. There was also a famous combination that did a lot of dirty work right here in town.
Really?
Yeah, Otis Toole and Henry Lee Lucas.
Two guys.
They were lovers for a while, but a lot of people think Otis Toole is the one who murdered Adam. Who's the guy that does the
American.
Yeah.
What's it called?
America's Most Wanted.
America's Most Wanted. It came on after Cops. Yes, his son was brutally murdered.
Adam Walsh. I forget the dad's name, but just a
John Walsh.
John Walsh, and these two had absolutely zero education.
Oh, Otis Toole looks like inbred.
He really does, and Henry Lee Lucas really made a big name for himself because he started taking credit for crimes that he didn't do. So he wanted to make himself more infamous than he actually was, but I don't know.
Yeah, Lucas said Lucas backed Toole's confession to the Walsh murder, though Lucas had a reputation for false confessions.
Yep.
Yeah, O'Toole, born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida.
He
father was an alcoholic who abandoned him.
Yep.
It's almost like if you're not a good dad, your son is more likely to be terrible. Think about that, folks.
Nope. All right, enough of that, unless you want to comment.
He died of cirrhosis, though. So it's a rough way to go.
Natural Born Killer, though. Really good movie.
Sick and hilarious. Like, I found myself laughing at so many odd times in the movie. And, yeah, it's made very trippy and weird, like.
Well, they cast that movie so well because Juliette Lewis is phenomenal for her
Perfect
role.
in it.
She's so aloof anyway. It's
In
tough
all
to
the
figure her out.
movies, yeah.
And
Tommy Lee Jones as the prison warden, easily my favorite character in the movie.
Pretty good. Robert Downey Jr. plays a good role.
Oh, my God. I forget. He's like the reporter guy. He's the best.
Well, yeah. I wish it would come out with some, some good movies. I just aren't able to find any of them. What do we got right here? We got a lot of stuff rolling in. 7281 says Angus Wallen and his girlfriend were a Jacksonville natural born killers copycat.
Whoa! I got
Knew people that knew him in prison. Do I smell true crime podcasts? I'd love to do a true crime podcast. There's just so many of them out there. I really would. It's kind of my. It really is my thing. Away from sports, I'm just. I can't convince myself why a human being would take another human being if you don't have a reason. Okay?
That's the creepiest part.
Yes. Now, I can see it if you have a reason, but not having a reason? You know, I've told the story before, but when they fried Bundy, and it was on my late mom's birthday, July 24th, 1989, and there was a very popular on-campus bar in Tallahassee, right on the campus of Florida State, called The First, and it was spelled Phyrst. And the sorority house was right down the same street, or right off that street, and they had Bundy burgers and Bundy fries and all that stuff. I mean, it was a huge celebration. And I was a criminology student, so I was absolutely, completely engaged in all of this. And I actually regret not going to Stark to be a part of that particular process because hundreds of students from Florida State did. And I regret that. If I could have, I'm not one of those that's going to go through the rest of my life saying, damn it, if I could do it all over again, I would have done this. I went on the road and went to all of those Florida State football games. You name a place, man. I went to them. But I wish I went to Bundy getting fried.
To the Bundy party.
And I missed out on it, JJ.
You're going to be ruining that the rest of your life. Yes, I looked up Agnes Wallen. And yes, it believes him and his girlfriend committed a murder and something like that and tried to run away to Biloxi and were caught in a hotel room. This was in the mid-2000s.
Mid-2000s?
Yeah.
So I got back here in 2006.
Yeah,
so
2008 is when the trial was.
How did I miss this?
So it might have been probably a couple years before that everything popped up.
I don't know how I missed it. Okay, maybe I'll do a little bit of a look-see on it. And because I'm always looking for something new to read. Honestly, I am. Halftime in Boston. Celtics up by 8, 66-58. They have played a half there, so Boston will try to continue this 5-game run through the first round against Atlanta. Again, coming up in 20 minutes, Minnesota at Denver. LAC at Phoenix coming up tonight at 10 o'clock as well. Quick look at the NHL before our next break. Let's see, Carolina trailing. Well, they've just scored now. So the Islanders up 2-1 over the Hurricanes. 6.5 minutes to go in the second period. Again, Islanders up 2-1. 6 minutes to go, period number 1. The Dallas Stars up 2-0 over the Wild. That series locked at 2 apiece. Then coming up at 9:30, Kings and Oilers. Again, that is in Edmonton, and that series is locked at 2 apiece. All right, Jaguar football is coming up. We promise you, it's here. And the NFL draft is coming up in 48 hours. Share to comment or care to comment, you can. 641-1010, best way to get us. That is on the text line, which is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
And now for something completely different.
1010XL can now be heard on your radio.
Now you can listen.
From sunup to sundown.
You can play it all day long.
New and improved.
This radio station will remain on the air.
1010XL.
I invite you now to listen.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org.
Apply by May 18th.
Your joints are talking to you, right? They're saying, hey, something's not right. You didn't listen because you thought the pain would go away in a week or two, but it's not going away.
Football legend Emmitt Smith knows you've got to listen to your body. Never ignore what it's telling you. And when it sends pain signals, don't wait. Get ahead. Stop it in its tracks with a visit to the nation's leader in joint pain relief.
That's QC Kinetics. Yeah, they are way ahead of the curve in this pain treatment business.
QC Kinetics says no to invasive surgeries and harsh drugs. They found a better, natural way to relief, using your body's own healing properties that you were born with. And it takes place same day, right in the office during your appointment. No surgeries and no downtime.
Before that pain goes next level, get ahead of it. Go see QC Kinetics. Stop it in its tracks.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Honey, are you using the hot water?
No.
The water's cold again. How can we fix it? Did you just quack like a duck?
Yep. Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. For water heater installation and service, including tankless water heaters, gas or electric, call for a quote today.
When you're stuck, call the duck. 904-862-6769.
People ask me, how do I get into broadcasting? They'll say something like, I love sports radio, but I don't know where to start. How do I get experience if no one will give me a chance? Well, 1010XL is partnering with the Broadcasters and Sportscasters Mentoring Group to offer on-air broadcast training to a select few. To find out how you could be mentored by someone from 1010XL, go to getintobroadcasting.com. Getintobroadcasting.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 25, 1974, the NFL moves the goalpost from goal line to the end lines to avoid game interference. They also adopt the sudden death playoff.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Green Beret Charity Golf Tournament at the Golf Club of Southampton is May 12th. To learn more, search the Green Beret Golf Tournament at Southampton.
Help support the amazing work of Catholic Charities while you have a great day on the golf course at the Transforming Lives Golf Tournament at St. John's Country Club, May 12th. Get tickets at ccbsaintaug.org.
The annual Wolfson Children's Hospital Bass Tournament is May 18th through the 20th. Register at wolfsonsbasstournament.com.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjax.org.
The Tom Coughlin J Fund helps families battling childhood cancer, and there are ways you can help. Go to tcjfund.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein and Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein and Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Attention golfers, Hidden Hills Golf Club has become an attractive destination for golfers all over North Florida. You too will enjoy our classic Arnold Palmer design that'll test your game and keep you coming back. Book a tee time today at hiddenhillsgc.com.
Yo, yo, yo! Are you looking for the lowest price on car insurance? ET here for Australia Car Insurance. Call 1-800-CAR-INSURANCE today. Australia is your quick and easy alternative to pay less for car insurance. Switch and save money. Call 1-800-CAR-INSURANce today.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, some good comments coming in on a variety of different topics on the text line. That is 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, including 1235 Ballou. The NHL. There are too many fair weather fans in the NHL. Cuts down on the home ice advantage. I disagree with that. Now, here's my opinion on it. I've been to two cities that have the NHL, and they're two of the original six. Boston is some of the most diehard hockey fans you'll ever find. Really a blue-collar variety of fans, where kind of the upper class or the Boston Celtic fans, where, I'm going to sneak out of the office 30 minutes early, where the Bruins fan has been shoveling dirt all day and may splash on a little bit of aqua velva and then go to a game. I kind of got the same feeling in Chicago as well, but those aren't great examples, because those are two of the original six and diehard fans. He was on to say here, many non-traditional markets like Miami. Okay, I'll give you that. And by the way, in
Miami's a rough fan base in general for every sport.
Well, our state is that way.
Yeah, it's a lot to do, man. Unless it's college football, really.
Well, yeah, but Florida State and Florida during those lean years.
You're right.
Look at the attendance. Now, if you look at the size of where we are compared to the fans, I would like to single out the 45 to 50, regardless of the set of circumstances, Duval fans who go. But wait till you see what it's going to be like this year compared to what it was like 2 years ago and 3 years ago when the team wasn't winning. Winning fixes everything. The Tampa Bay Lightning may have, honestly, the best setting for a game in our state, when they are electrifying and ready to go. And that's saying a lot compared to the big cathedrals of college football and also the NFL, where Tampa Bay has had success. They just won a Super Bowl recently. Tampa does it that well. But you know it too. When the Orlando Magic stink or when the Miami Heat stink, they don't draw.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Lightning wasn't always the place to be. I mean, they had many a down year where fans and the crowd looked really rough on TV. Now it's like you can't even imagine that it used to be like that, because every single game seems like it's sold out. It looks great.
They built a brand new stadium right downtown.
It's a perfect spot.
It's phenomenal. I mean, it is so good.
Walk right out of a bar, walk right into the arena.
Yeah, and they have the hat tricks right there, and they have a couple of other ones. But also with some of these, some of the seating arrangements I've been into, even after the game, there's like a second floor platform with a post game area where you can go out there where there's live entertainment, and they're still selling cocktails. I think I told you this recently, but years back, I went to a playoff game that Boston blew a 3-0 lead on the road, and after the game, Cheap Trick was out there playing in the little patio or the what do you call it, beer garden or whatever the heck it is. And, that was pretty cool. So, that's what it is.
Meanwhile,
for
the
our state.
Rays, they play in
Yeah.
Timbuktu, basically.
I like driving over the bridge. And
Isn't that great
well,
side of town?
I've always said this about the Trop, okay? And this has always been my opinion on it. I don't dislike it like others. It is for two reasons. Number one is I was either with my kids all day going to the beach or I was playing golf all day, and it's 95 to 100 degrees.
AC.
When you get to the Trop for a night game at 7 o'clock or 7:30, there's zero chance of rain, and it's going to be 70 degrees after you've been sweating all day where you can sit back and relax.
That's exactly what my 65-year-old father always says about the Trop. I love the Trop because the AC.
Yeah. Now, if you want history, and I just got done bragging about their hockey stadium. Okay, you would think that they would find a way to fix that relatively soon, and it seems like every year they're battling something. Celtics now up 74-63, 9 minutes to go in the second, or make that now the third quarter. All right, Joe Burrow got his fifth-year option picked up today. There was actually quite a few players who had their options picked up today, and this is nothing more than a formality, you got to believe, for Joe Burrow. He's already completed 3 years. Obviously, come September will be the start of his fourth year. But because of everything that we're waiting on with Trevor Lawrence, the intrigue just continues to build. I thought Jalen Hurts answered his question at his presser about as well as anyone could. When asked about the money, he said the money is nice, but it's not as nice as winning championships. That's exactly what you do want to hear from your leader. But a couple of wide receivers, Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. Of course, Jefferson played with Burrow at LSU. Then you have Tua, who had his picked up, and Tristan Wirfs. I was a little bit surprised by Tua for the reasons that we have talked about on this program many times. It is a risky move to guarantee that fifth year, considering he's one hit away from never playing the game again. And we'll see what ends up happening. But to me, that is something that would absolutely, totally be alarming as far as I am concerned. The 1000 says, Ballou is chill. Okay. Still trying to figure out my MKs, but this gentleman loves to keep me in the know whenever I drop one of those. The 0450 says, Ballou, not sure if you mentioned it, the Jacks Icemen, they're up 4-1 over Greenville. That is in the second. No, I haven't. I don't know.
It took us 45 minutes to work their website last night, but we found it, and they are tied 1-1 in the series. So I guess they're going to be up 2-1.
Mm-hmm. Back to the serial killers. They got to hold on now. We know what happened last night in Tampa. They had a 4-1 lead with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm reading up on Danny Rawling right now because we have a texter who I guess went to school there.
Danny Rawling was a very unintelligent serial killer who was homeless. He killed in Louisiana. Then he was in the woods in Gainesville. And one of the reasons why he got caught is he had his confession on tape.
Like a tape recorder?
Right.
Like he recorded himself?
Like an old cassette tape. Yeah. He had confessed to someone else on tape. And
yeah, he had a screwdriver, a bag of money, a gun, a cassette player had been stored, and they listened to the tape. They also found tools matching marks left at the Gainesville murder scenes.
Yeah, I've always...
He had a small camp in the wooded area.
Right. I'm not trying to say this in a smart-ass way because it's awful for anyone who is homeless. Okay? Especially those who served our country. But what are your needs if you're homeless? Rawlings had a tape recorder and a confessed tape.
Genius.
As is carrying around from town to town. That was part of his, little get-up as someone who was officially listed as homeless. It's amazing. And
those are people that want to get caught.
Though, well, I think he's a great example of someone who honestly wanted to be bigger than he ended up being. He's not close to Mount Rushmore. He's never featured, when you look at the most prolific ones of all time.
You don't see him in like documentaries.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess there's a few.
I've seen a few documentaries on him. I have, but he's not mentioned. If you were to rank him 1 through 50, like for instance, should I say it? No, I'm not even going to say it. Never mind. All right, I will say it because I did when I was wasted. I have serial killer cards. Okay, I'm a big
like a deck of cards.
Yeah, I'm a big sports card collector. Okay,
Oh, like baseball cards,
right?
Not like playing cards.
I have
Okay.
serial killer cards, and I was wasted one night, and I was on eBay, and I was like, let's get these and see what they're all about. So, and I think I got 50 of them, and it goes back to old school, like with H.H. Holmes and Jack. By the way, Jack the Ripper has like 3 career kills and like 3,000 career books out on him. It's one of the biggest frauds of all time.
Is it just because of?
Because he was the first
the
one,
detective or whatever his name was.
Well, he was the first one. He went unknown. They never. He was killing.
So they still don't know who Jack the Ripper is.
He was killing prostitutes in London. Yeah. No, they don't. But there's no Danny Rollins in there. There's like 50 of them.
Didn't even make the top 50, bro.
No.
He robbed a supermarket in Ocala.
Here's a guy who says, "Who's number one? Who's number one?" For me,
Ted?
Without any question at all, it's Gary Ridgway. Most career kills. Green River Killer.
And a great name.
Mm-hmm. He'd be 1 for me. 2's probably Gacy or Bundy. Then Dahmer. Then Richard Ramirez or Warnos. I've got to make room for Manson, even though he was not involved in anything that happened in the hills in Los Angeles. He was a cult leader that led that. There's your group. Dave Rader, right? The BTK killer. That's certainly one. David Berkowitz, son of Sam, although he was a little bit more of a spree shooter, too. I mean, he just walked up on people parking.
In their cars, right? Last meal for Rawling, lobster tail.
Yeah, they fried him. Yep. He went.
I don't understand the whole you're on death row for 12 years after being convicted.
That's the law, man.
Like, he died in 2006. He was convicted in 1994, and that always happens.
Different laws in different states, and then you can go from state to federal.
Mm-hmm. But it's never like 2 years later. It's always like 10.
We just went through 10 years of the Boston Marathon bombing.
It's crazy that it was that long ago.
And that knucklehead's still behind bars. Okay?
Well, he's a federal. Is he in federal?
Yeah, it's federal.
Okay.
But he's getting $3 square a day, and I imagine he's got all the medical needs, and if he's got a bad tooth, they'll bring in a dentist.
Friends in there. He's got a television. He is living his life. That's sort of what happens. That becomes your life.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Blackbird movie was good. Did you see that?
Haven't.
That's really
Is
good.
that about is that based on a true story?
Yes. Absolutely it is.
I saw the preview and it looked really creepy.
No, it's sensational.
Like a guy in prison is trying to solve other murders.
A guy gets 10 years for drugs. So he's in one penitentiary and they slide him into another jail to try to rat out a guy who is close to getting out of jail, but they believe he's got a lot of young bodies buried, and yeah, they're able to get that out of him.
Yeah, Golden Globe Award nominee for Best Performance by an Actor in a Miniseries.
The Hauser. Is it Paul Hauser?
Paul Hauser. Big boy.
Bro, he's phenomenal. He's the one who played the one that they blame for the Atlanta bombing.
Which I haven't seen that either. That
oh
looks
my
great.
God! I mean, this
Richard Jewell.
Richard Jewell. He becomes so lovable and like forgiving, and you feel so bad for him. In the Richard Jewell one, and then you just see how messed up he really is in jail in Blackbird. But, yeah, I'm not surprised he won
Range.
those awards. He's a phenomenal actor in that.
Ray Liotta's in it as well.
Yeah, it's the final.
Rest in peace.
It's the final one for Ray. Ray plays the dad of the kid who goes in. He's from England. I think it was.
Is it a show or a movie?
It's like a six-part series.
So it's the last show for Ray Liotta, but do you know what the last movie for Ray Liotta is? And it's sad that this is it, but Cocaine Bear.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did you see it?
No, but I heard it's hilarious, actually. Like, they're not trying to be serious in any way. It's like a Sharknado type movie, so yeah. Roll a joint and watch that one. I highly suggest you don't watch Cocaine Bear while you're sober.
Why am I having such trouble with the internet tonight? I can't even pull up any of the actors in any of this. I'm about ready to take a rubber hammer to this during the commercial break. Jimmy Keen's the one who goes in behind bars, but I forget the actual man is the actor who actually performs his role in the movie. Why am I struggling so bad with this? This is
Well, while you struggle, someone asks if Jim Jones would be considered a serial killer because of the Kool-Aid party in Africa.
No, to me that's a cult.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a cult. But there's different ways of looking at it. They're all bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way
Can't
to say
argue with that.
They're all terrible. All right, Teron Egerton plays Jimmy Keen. Does a really good job. Paul Walter Hauser. Wow. Greg Kinnear is pretty good as a detective.
Love him.
Ray Liotta is the end, and I don't want to spoil it here, but he has a stroke in the in the 6-part series, so his speech patterns are changed, and that's pretty cool. They have this deal where they have someone playing Vincent the Chin Gigante in the big house of the Genovese family. That's pretty good. I thought that might have been a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a tall tale there. Again, I didn't read anything on this. I just watched it and I enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty good stuff. All right, let's take a break. Why don't we do that? What do you think, huh? Is that what we should do? I believe that's what's installed. Break time. 641-1010. If you want to get on in, where are all you Jaguar fans? You're not giving me enough to chew on tonight as far as this draft, which is 24 hours plus 24 hours away. Let's make it 48 hours away is the NFL draft. We got much more to do. We'll take you tonight till 10, then Hacker will join you.
Jaguars fans and 1010XL.
It was a special year for the city, for everybody, and couldn't have done it without all you guys supporting us. So we're thankful for you guys. Those last 2 home games were games I'll never forget.
1010XL, home of Jaguars fans.
Call the guys at Zero Res, #1 in the nation for customer satisfaction and franchise of the year. Right now, get 2 rooms of carpet cleaned and the staircase for just $148. That's a savings of $30. Zero Res, man. Spell it forward, spell it backwards. It's the right way to clean.
There's a world of difference between and that's why you can trust Famous Automotive and Tire when it comes to your vehicle's care. Because there's a difference between and. It all starts with the triangle of safety. Your tires, brakes, and the front end. Take care of those 3 points and your car will take good care of you. Start at Famous Automotive and Tires. 7 locations servicing every customer like they're famous.
Instant Keys specializes in replacement of lost, stolen, or broken keys and remotes. Serving the First Coast for over 20 years, Instant Keys provides expert service for nearly every foreign and domestic vehicle, including most luxury models. So don't be intimidated by today's high-tech automotive keys. At Instant Keys, you get dealership-level service at a fraction of the time and cost without the dealership hassle. For honest, professional locksmith service, call Instant Keys today, 722-1111.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Look, warmer weather now means mosquito, flea, and tick season is here. These pests are out for blood, but you don't have to let them win. Protect your home and family with Kingfish Pest Control. As a Kingfish customer myself, I know their products are safe for kids and pets. Plus, with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, You can relax knowing your yard is pest-free. Call today, mention the Jags to receive 10% off your initial service. That's Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
Jacksonville has some junk, and J-Dog is removing it. They're here to do the dirty work. You don't want to remove and dispose of large furniture or appliances yourself? Call J-Dog. Here now proudly serving you, removing junk from your home or business. They can even handle small demolition projects, and they're still donating local items to veterans in need. So let J-Dog do the dirty work for you. J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned and operated. JDog.com.
Wondering what you're going to do for dinner tonight? Southern Steer Butcher is a full-service butcher that offers take-and-bake side options that are oven-ready.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson saw her brother-in-law have surgery for pain in his elbow.
My brother-in-law, after that surgery, had his arm in a sling for almost 6 months, extensive PT, pain medication, a lot of restrictions of what he could not do.
So when Diane's husband, Greg, had a similar problem, she encouraged a different treatment, regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. And the experience was like night and day compared to his brother.
After 6 months, nothing. He hasn't felt any pain, and that has been 2 years since he's had treatment.
Plus, no drugs and no downtime.
He was literally out golfing when he wanted to and doing whatever he wanted to. It was probably 9 months before my brother-in-law got back out on the golf course, and my husband was on the golf course the entire time. And he was so elated. He goes, Diane, game changer.
Before you have surgery for that joint pain, get a second opinion. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Information was uncovered today by NFL reporters that, in fact, anyone associated with the NFL is not allowed to wager on where players will get selected Thursday night. One of the reasons why I did quit betting 10 years ago is because I got the gig as a sideline reporter. And I just thought, out of respect, I would just leave it. And at the time, I want to say that we were either writing for something else or the gridironnow.com thing was about to pop up, and I was asked about writing a gambling column, like a college football and an NFL gambling column on, picks. And I spoke with one of the higher-ups at the Jaguars, and they said, absolutely no way. Said, no way. We cannot. Even last year when I did one of my reports, I mentioned the point spread, and I had to recut it. And I'm like, are you kidding me now? I mean, now I even have to recut it with point spreads being everywhere. 10 years ago, I totally got it, okay? But that is true. So I wonder if there have been people who have been briefed here in town and around the league that if you think it's funny and you're dropping a little bit of inside info to some of your pals, I'm talking about this league-wide, if we track it back to you, the
You're
NFL
fired.
has said you cannot do this.
So if I'm like a social here's where you can get off on that if you're like an employee. Like if I'm the social media guy for the Jags or whatever, I'm sure before the pick comes down, they have a graphic ready to go. I'm sure they've made graphics for multiple players and stuff like that, but they are aware, hey, we're going to take this guy. When we do, you tweet it out.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to know ahead of time. There's people that, on the internet side of things, or, we're doing a broadcast of the draft tomorrow night from the stadium. At the stadium, they're having an event where, they bring on guests and players, and then they bring on the draft pick to talk to everybody. I'm sure there's guys that know, maybe just 5 minutes before, but they know. And they can go in and make a live bet and win some money potentially. So I understand that. What I don't understand is one of my buddies who's a cameraman for the Jags is not even allowed to be in, like, NCAA tournament pools. Like, silly stuff like that. It's a little overboard for me.
I wasn't aware of that.
No gambling on sports whatsoever.
Okay. Well, if they hold employees to that, then you absolutely should be able to hold the players accountable to
absolutely.
that. Which they're proving that they're doing. There's a lot of people that are going the other way, though. There's a lot of people that think that they need to find a way to make some changes here. Maybe not directly with the NFL, but perhaps with other sports. The draft it's irritated a lot of people. I don't know if they made the changes on it last year, but I can think of a guy like Albert Breer. They would actually have the pick out like 45 seconds to a minute before TV had it.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys who are, for one way or another, have that information. And, I know that I guess the NFL said out of respect for the networks can be calmed down on the Twitter. I remember that being somewhat of a story.
Yep.
I don't know if it still is.
It certainly was for the NBA picks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was for the NHL too, or NFL. They got mad about Woj releasing all the picks ahead of time.
The NFL's really weird about leaking information, and teams get incredibly paranoid. I want to say it was 6 years ago, maybe, where I had received a copy of the Jaguars schedule that was being released.
But you received it how long ahead of time?
4 hours.
So the same day.
Right. But in don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I think I was working afternoons then, and something happened where the NFL is going to have a big deal about it, and they're going to have a draft release or, a schedule release party at like 8 o'clock.
Yes.
And bro, I want to tell you something. I started giving pick game by game. You talk about my cell phone blowing up, okay? It was unbelievable. And I just honestly,
it would be like they're acting like that you're giving away the playbook or something.
But I honestly did not know
that you couldn't do
If I knew, I wouldn't have done it. I love the job. I mean, the last thing I'm going to do is try to screw up.
How many games did you get into?
Oh, I think I've got them all out.
Oh, did you? I love that. I mean, now it's just Dilla releases them all anyways. So, we sort of know. Although he's stopped sort of leaking, free agent stuff and draft stuff. Or I guess we'll find out tomorrow. But I don't know if he's not getting the information anymore, or after that Leftwich thing, he kind of has taken a little bit of a step back. But I always enjoy the schedule release.
Oh, it's so important to people.
Dude, the
it
teams
really is.
act like it's so important. They have every team now has their little video to come out and show all the opponents. It's like, it's corny, guys.
There are only two rules to me where you're not allowed to break any stories. Even on, you can't break Jaguar stories. And the number 2 rule was you can report on anything you see. You cannot report on what you hear.
Sideline talk.
Yeah.
Locker room talk.
And I thought that was fun. And I totally respected that because there were so many things over the years that I have seen and witnessed. And, every once in a while now that I'm removed from it, I may bring up a situation. I've talked a lot about Yannick Ngakoue, who all of a sudden is in the news. Okay, there were reports out, Mike DeRocco for one, from ESPN right here on our airwaves, saying he keeps hearing the name Yannick Ngakoue. I'm totally convinced that that's where they're going to use their $14 million, or a great part of that. Yes, they need to sign rookies to a contract, but I believe they're going to get a pass rush end. A lot of people believe that there's no way that Yannick Ngakoue could come back here and play for the Cons after his spat with Tony Khan. I've told you all along, I disagree with that. I mean, these are big-time professionals who are in the world of business. If Yannick Ngakoue helps this team win football games and get to the quarterback, he'll patch that up with Tony Khan, as far as I'm concerned.
And Tony also, I agree. And Tony also works in a industry in wrestling where he probably hears it from some of the wrestlers who don't think that they're being like, I don't know what the terms are for wrestling, but they're not
shooting.
They're not
when they
enough.
shoot on one another. That means when they rip on them. That's
exactly.
the term.
So,
Shoot,
like,
yep.
I'm not getting enough fights, or I'm not getting enough of the limelight, or you have me losing this fight, whatever. Like, I'm sure he hears lots of stuff from the talent. Maybe not on social media in front of everyone. That was quite embarrassing. But, yeah, I think it would come off as sort of mature if Tony and them were willing to bring him back.
Oh, yeah. I've always felt that it would be on the side of Yannick. To me, for Tony Khan, when you're that successful and your dad's a billionaire and you're involved in running a soccer team across the pond, an NFL team here, a wrestling organization here, you deal with a tremendous amount of criticism and people complaining.
And divas.
I've always followed kind of the behind the stage, if you will, of wrestling. And it is such a backstabbing business.
I've heard.
I mean, you can go back to some of the stuff I've read coming out of Canada, coming out of Minnesota, obviously Vince McMahon and everything he's done in New York City. And, you always hear about, this guy's now attacking this former wrestler and this guy's going after this former wrestler. It really happens far more than what we see in other sports. Now, I did see this past week that it was Sean McCoy taking a shot at Jim Kelly.
What?
And, yeah.
That's very random.
Yeah, well, like two of Buffalo's greatest of all time. He's like, Sean McCoy's basically like, yeah, Jim Kelly's always talking. Jim Kelly's always saying this. Jim Kelly's always saying that. Yet last time I checked, all Jim Kelly did was go to the Super Bowl and lose. It's like, what's going on in Buffalo where you got these guys going after one another? So we do get it in other sports, but it's not nearly like what we have in wrestling, which is supposed to be entertainment. And obviously there's a booker and what have you, but you got to live by that particular call. But, man, they air out dirty laundry.
So, first of all, Jim always talks, McCoy said. He's always talking. He just wants to talk about the team. He doesn't want to talk about how they come up short every year. He doesn't want to talk about that. 4 times short. You're this great quarterback in the Super Bowl. Loss. Yikes.
Yeah, and I don't know where it came from.
It's because Jim Kelly said he was asked a question and answered. McCoy was asked to respond to Kelly's recent comments that the Bills needed a better running game and that Josh Allen can't, quote, do it all by himself. Kelly was asked a question and answered, so it was not a random criticism of the run game. Kelly added that the Bills haven't had a game-changing running back since McCoy was released in 2018. This is weird. Shady's just trying to go viral, man.
Mm-hmm. The Slim Shady. He's been out of it for what now? Did he ever go back and he went to Kansas City and then he went to Tampa Bay? But, those are pretty good numbers. You put those numbers up. They're not Fred Taylor numbers.
Oh, now I'm understanding what's happening.
Okay.
So, a few years back, 5 years, 6 years at this point, 2017, after the Kaepernick thing, Jim Kelly said, I like LaShawn McCoy, don't get me wrong, but I totally 100% disagree with what he did. You want to kneel, fine, but when you go and do what you did yesterday, this sort of bummed me out, and I lost a lot of respect for him. So apparently they got into it over the kneeling or whatever, and they had since made up, but I guess he still doesn't like him because of that. By the way, LaShawn McCoy also recently in the news, not recently, but over the last couple of months, for taking a shot at who's the offensive coordinator that never gets hired from the Chiefs and
Eric Bieniemy?
Yes. So he's one of the few guys that has come out and been like, hey, there's a reason why he hasn't been hired. He's a jerk. No one likes him. Nobody gets along with him. He's a terrible interview, and he's not that great at his job. And everybody went crazy after he said that because you really don't see too much anti-Bieniemy talk.
He spent 2019 in Kansas City, 13 games, 9 starts, 101 carries.
So it's not like he was there for very long.
He had decent numbers, 465 yards. He averaged 4.6 per and had 4 touchdowns, but he only got 100 carries. You look at his career, it's interesting. 11,102 yards, 3,898 518 receptions, 3,898 yards. So, here's a guy who had 15 or right at 1,500 yards. Okay? As a matter of fact, is that 15 exactly?
That's impressive.
I'm just trying to pave the way here for Fred and Adrian Peterson and Frank Gore. That is absolutely going to be problematic. But who else right now out of running backs is a competitor for Fred Taylor? I think he's 2 years away. McCoy, the Philadelphia market, the Buffalo market, and then again KC and Tampa was as average as the day is long. It's like some people out there may even forget that Fred Taylor went to New England. We just forget about that when it comes to running backs. McCoy may be a guy that is interesting.
If LaShawn McCoy is even a candidate to be in the Hall of Fame, I might have to stop watching football. That's a joke. The guy, he was a good running back. He was never even like a top 5 running back in the league. This is why. The NFL, NBA, whatever, y'all's Hall of Fame, you got to do some work on it, man. Like Dion said, you're letting in too much mid, as the kids say. Be like baseball. I mean, don't stop guys from getting in that deserve to get in, like baseball does, but be a little bit more, check them at the door. Have some security outside, please. You can't just let everyone in.
All right. Before we enter this break, let me give you this. And I don't disagree with you. If you're asking me who the better back was, Fred Taylor or LaShawn McCoy,
absolutely,
it is Fred Taylor. But the numbers, LaShawn McCoy, 153 games, 1,100, 695 yards, average 4.6 a carry. Okay? Check that. That is actually Fred Taylor. 153 games, 11,695 yards, average 4.6 a carry. LaShawn McCoy, okay, 170 games, 11,102 yards, an average of 4.5, scored 73 touchdowns. Receiving, Fred Taylor, 290 for 2,384 yards, 8 touchdowns. LaShawn McCoy, 518 receptions, 3,898 yards, 16 touchdowns. More yards, more total yards, more touchdowns. I don't know.
I don't think either one of them are a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying if I had to put one in, I would definitely choose Fred over him.
Yeah. We'll see.
But better numbers than I expected.
There's not a lot coming. These others are going to fall short. The Todd Gurley's and
Todd Gurley.
For a while, for like that 4-year span, Gurley,
but when he fell off, he fell all the way off.
How many current running backs are Hall of Famers. Not named Derrick Henry.
Now that he is on a better team, I think McCaffrey has the ability to get there. But he's so injury prone. I mean,
How about Dalvin Cook?
No.
I think he's got a chance.
What about Zeke?
Let's look at him. Let's look at Zeke. He's tailed off recently. Man, he didn't get 1,000 yards this past year.
Oh, no.
Was he around 700 or so? Heck, I can't even find.
Probably didn't even lead his own team in rushing last year.
Can't even find him. Jonathan Taylor, but again, you need longevity as an NFL tailback.
What about Saquon?
Got to stay healthy. Nick Chubb is off to a real good start. You look at Nick Chubb in his first 5 years, he had 996 as a rookie. He's gone over 1,000 in the next 4 years.
Oh, I'll give you a good one. He's still young. Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I think he's like 25 or
Got to stay healthy, though.
Yes.
That's the deal.
And you have to have a team be willing to keep your ass around. I mean, like nowadays in the NFL, after you're done with that first contract, you're a running back, you're out of there. I mean, it's hard. They know that you're easily replaceable. That you're not going to put up those career numbers like, the guys like Fred and them had where they actually ran the ball in the early 2000s.
Zeke Elliott in 7 years, 1,881 carries, 8,262 yards. He's averaged 4.4 with 68 career touchdowns. I mean, he's had 4 of his 7 seasons. He's gone north of 1,000. And the years he missed was 2017, where he went 983, 2020, where he went 979, and last year when he went 876. So he's put up good numbers. And we'll see where he goes. What really sticks out for Zeke Elliott last year is his average per carry went down to 3.8. I mean, that's Leonard Fournette territory.
I think we're going to start getting like a lot more wide receivers in.
Oh, yeah.
Than running backs in the near future, just because they're just a more important position over the last 10 years. And nowadays, like, way more important than a running back.
I may argue with you on Dalvin Cook. Now, Dalvin Cook needs to do it for another 5, 6, 7 seasons.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, and he may get traded Thursday night. I mean, Dalvin Cook played 4 games as a rookie, and he played 10 games in year 2. So he went 354 yards and 615 yards because injuries limited him to 14 games in his first 2 years. Ever since then, he's gone 14, 14, 13, and 17, and his yards are 1135, 1557, 1159, 1173. So he's got 5,993 yards and 1,282 carries, has an average per of 4.7. But he needs to do that for another 5 or 6 years. You got to take that 6,000 career yards, and you got to get that thing over probably 11 to 12,000 career yards. You got to take those 47 touchdowns and get them pretty close to 100. When it comes to receiving, you look at what he's done, 221 receptions, 1,794 yards. So he's, there's 10-5 guys. Look at Warrick Dunn. He's nearly a 10-5 guy. Warrick Dunn missed, I think he ended up with like 9,700 career yards rushing and over 5,000 receiving. That's another element of this that I think is often overlooked. He's still a real good football player. If Miami gets him, can you imagine what the AFC East is going to be like?
With Dalvin Cook, you mean?
If they get Dalvin Cook on Thursday night, and we know that Rodgers just went to New York. We know that Buffalo is still going to be listed as the team to beat. New England is clearly the bottom feeder right now in that particular division. Boston up 10 with 6 minutes to go. That is 106-96. Game 5 tonight in Boston as they try to close out their first round. Couple of late NBA games getting underway. We'll tell you about that, plus everything that is happening on ice.
1010XL takes you inside the program director's office with Dan and Jeff.
I think you're not suited for this job.
Mornings
In addition to being incompetent, you threaten my reputation, and not just today.
on 1010XL.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, Armada, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including Active Armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
It's time to play Fix That Plumbing Problem. What do you do if you have a clogged drain? Contestant 1?
Use a different drain?
No, that doesn't really fix the problem. Contestant 2? That's right. Just call the duck.
Don't let plumbing problems linger. Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. Commercial, residential, any plumbing issue or project.
When you're stuck, call the duck. 904-862-6769.
Children under 5 die from drowning in Florida more than any other state. Together, we can reduce the risk of drowning. The YMCA has programs accessible to families that teach essential water safety skills. Face the water with confidence. Learn more at watersafetyflorida.org.
I was on the go. It was time to eat. I said, baby, grab a dandy, cause they can't be beat. She got something else when it was time to choose. And after just one bite, I got that soggy sandwich blue. Should've known better, only dandy will do. Got that hometown flavor creeping up on you. Yeah.
1010XL celebrates athletic and academic greatness.
Listen for the high school scholar athlete Wednesdays on the Frangie Show.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
April is Head and Neck Cancer Awareness Month. If caught early, this disease can be treated effectively. So take control of your health with the experts at Ackerman Cancer Center. Don't delay. Get screened for any symptoms. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances, that's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Do you have a VA loan? In this housing market, homeowners with VA loans have access to a ton of instant cash. Hey, it's Prosser here. Do you need cash to pay off credit cards and other high-interest loans? Does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound about right now? Well, Loan Pronto is helping veterans every day get the money they need with a quick and easy zero-cost cash-out refi with zero closing costs. With a VA loan, it's really cool because you can access up to 100% of your home's value. Use that money to pay off credit cards, home equity lines, car loans, consolidate all your payments into one check per month, and close in 2 weeks. Most homeowners who do this end up cutting their overall monthly payments by $800. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They're doing loans with super low APRs, and they love working with veterans. Call now to see what your options are. Call Loan Pronto at 999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I said yes to Yas, Dr. Mitchell Yas, and the Yas method. Now, I know you've probably tried medications, treatments, injections, even surgery. Maybe the reason you're still in pain is because they're treating the wrong thing and not addressing the root causes. Well, I know from personal experience, this does happen. But I found the best-kept secret in pain elimination, Dr. Yas and the Yas method. Call him today, 904-906-YASS, and say yes to Yas.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, breaking news. Now that I'm allowed to break news, the Rays, 14 in a row at home, has sadly come to an end. Houston, 5-0, a winner. So the Rays go to 14-1 at home. They go to 20-4 on the season. That has rolled in a couple of minutes ago. A lot of finals rolling in. The Dodgers come from behind, win 8-7. A lot of road victories tonight, including Seattle, a winner. In the Boston Red Sox Boston's got it at 13-12. You could have taken that bet when I had him at what was it, 2-1?
Yeah.
Was it 2-1 on the year?
And you're like, they're not going to be one game within 500 the rest of the season. You looked pretty good for a minute there, but yeah, the whole East is great. I mean, Boston is the worst team in the East, and they're pretty all right. I mean, Toronto's awesome. Obviously, we just talked about the Rays. They've only lost 4 games all season. The Yankees are the Yankees.
Minnesota's created a lot of fits for them early on.
Minnesota has. I think did they shut them out last night or held them to 1 run? I'm not sure what's going on tonight. Minnesota's a fun team this
Minnesota's
year.
beating them again tonight.
Yes, up 6-2.
Yep.
They got Joey Gallo, former Yankee, who did nothing there.
And had a big home run against them
Exactly.
yesterday. Look at San Diego again. 3 hits, 7th inning. Tatis, 1 of 2, hitting 200 on the year. Soto, 0 for 3, hitting 190. Machado, 0 for 3, hitting 213.
Wow.
I mean, you think of the amount of money in those 3 players, and they're giving you nothing. Now, Bogarts is hitting, where they spent a lot on. He's hitting 330. But can you imagine what it is going to be like for the San Diego? They're only 12-12. As soon as they get that thing going.
Luckily for them, the rest of the division is average right now. So it's not like, you would expect at this time the Dodgers are like 20-4 or something like that. But no, they're right around 500 too. Actually, the Arizona Diamondbacks lead the way at 13-11. So they're only a game back with all the struggles they've had with a run differential of -13. So they're looking fine. Like, if you go through this stretch and none of your guys are hitting and you're still only 1 game back, you shouldn't feel that terrible about things.
The Atlanta Hawks are on a 15-2 run.
Whoa.
Over the last 3 minutes. I mean, this is similar to what we saw last night in hockey with the Toronto Maple Leafs against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
And similar to the Heat game, where the Heat were down like 12 points with a few minutes left. 5 minutes, I believe, and ended up.
Just incredible. All right, 7 minutes to go in Raleigh, where Carolina's trying to send home the New York Islanders, but right now NYI up 3-2 against Carolina. Again, just under 7 minutes to go there. 5 minutes to go, second period in Dallas, where the Stars are up 3-0 over the Wild. Kings and Oilers will play. They'll drop the puck there coming up in just a couple of minutes. More and more talk today, things that I've read, and it's really interesting how things get released here the week of the draft, and in this case, we're 2 days away from the draft. But, even when we talked with Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson about this last week, we referenced 4 quarterbacks. And what that does for Jacksonville, who selects 20th, obviously, is they'll have 19 position players go ahead of them. Well, now there's a whole bunch of stuff being thrown around that Hendon Hooker, despite the injury, isn't going to make it out of the top 20. So am I nitpicking here a little bit? Sure. But that's what you do when you're this close to the draft. I mean, a 5th quarterback helps Jacksonville to get to one of those 2 to 3 players that Bulky mentioned that, they really covet and they would like to get. So if this does happen with Hendon Hooker, again, if Jacksonville is right there and let's say there's 3 players that they love and 2 of them are gone, but all of a sudden Hooker goes, the player could end up falling to them at number 24. So, a little bit of good news there, depending exactly how it is that you are looking at it. All right, I've been asked a very interesting question here. What would your final meal be on death row?
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
But it has to be like my father's meatballs.
Okay.
They're delicious.
And now
don't take that out of context, listeners.
Okay. Yeah, don't take that out of context. I'd probably do a Maine lobster.
Oh, just like our boy.
Yeah.
What's his name? Or I guess
Danny
that was
Rollins?
lobster tail, yeah.
Nah, that was lobster tail. It's probably down here lobster tail, which is good. I actually think down here crabs are better. I'm going to go to the Blue Crab House, which they're still fighting through permits and all this stuff.
Damn government.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're going to be up and running by May, at some point in May. But I miss them. I do. I mean, there's not a lot of mom and pop places in Jacksonville. There's just not. I mean, how can I rip this where I live? I don't. And the 2 problems that I have is there's not a lot of mom and pop restaurants here, and there's not really
late night places.
Any good Irish bars.
And
here in town.
We need late night food.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, Hawks just took the lead.
I know. And they're throwing up everything, and it's fall, and that was a bad shot. They just hoisted a 3, which made very little sense. So
we have to break, so maybe we should watch the game.
Why don't we do that then?
Yeah.
We'll take our final break of the night. Atlanta up 114-113 over Boston. We have a minute to go in Game 5.
1010XL in your house.
You can't keep me cooped up in here, okay?
On Alexa connected devices, say, Alexa, open 1010XL Jacksonville skill.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. eBay Motors. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Ace Carline here from my friends at Claude Nolan Cadillac. I was just there for my routine service. They have more new cars now than any time in the past 2 years. An increasing number of vehicles continue to be delivered. No worries on rates. They have fantastic rates right now. There's so much more than just pre-owned Cadillacs in stock. Get down to Claude Nolan Cadillac today. Tell them I sent you. New or certified pre-owned. Begin your lasting relationship at Claude Nolan Cadillac off JTB and Southside across from Tinseltown.
Mike Duraco here for Clearwater Irrigation and Drainage. Let me tell you, I had a bad standing water issue on my front sidewalk, and John Haney and his crew came in and completely solved it. Their service division fixed my sprinkler system too. We all know these guys singing is terrible, but their service is excellent.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers. All right, Mike.
And drainage too.
ClearwaterJacks.com. Talk about your team from your team's perspective. It's the secret of genius. Mike Tony and E.T. host Daily Jags Insiders from the JOI Studios.
Well, I believe you've got everybody's attention.
10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
David here with Royal Pest Services. That grass is waking up from its winter nap. Royal is close to applying products that help bring it out of that dormancy. Our granular aeration allows treatment to get to the root system. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate. It's grow time!
Beaches Jewelry and Pawn is ready to help. If you need extra cash or a quick loan, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash in hand. They also love to buy items of value. They need gold, silver coins, and flatware, jewelry, guitars, and of course, guns.
Hey, Carline here, and let's talk of getting rid of pain with QC Kinetics. Get lasting relief from joint pain without surgery or drugs. QC Kinetics has clinics in Ponte Vedra and in Mandarin on San Jose. Call 904-274-5522. They've taken it to a whole new level with new medical director, Dr. Peter Atch, a renowned triple board certified doctor with decades of experience. Look, if you're tired of living with pain in your back, hips, shoulders, knees, don't let anyone tell you surgery is your only option. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Call 904-274-5522. Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can get you real relief. Don't go under the knife. Don't deal with downtime. QC Kinetics takes the healing properties from your own body, concentrates them, and puts them into your affected joint to repair and restore the damaged tissue. QC Kinetics, call 904-274-5522.
Serving the First Coast for over 20 years, Instant Keys offers honest professional locksmith service for the replacement of lost, stolen, or broken keys and remotes. Get dealer-level service at a fraction of the time and cost. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. For the new year, check out the new gear at hardballcreative.com and make sure your employees are sporting your logo on the newest and coolest apparel.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
The best golfing weather is upon us, and Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy your round of golf with us. Our warm and welcoming atmosphere and spectacular golf course keeps our customers coming back. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
Cheer on your Jacksonville Sharks Sunday, April 30th, 4 o'clock at the ViStar Arena, and see the Sharks smash their in-state rivals, the Orlando Predators. With tickets as low as $15, you can't find this kind of family affordable fun anywhere else. Join us for our exclusive movie night. Strut down the red carpet. Pose for the paparazzi. Shark Tank Sunday, April 30th, 4 o'clock at the ViStar Memorial Arena. For tickets as low as $15, call 904-621-0700 or check out jacksharks.com. Come dressed to impress. Fins up.
It's time to fire up the grill. Houston's Meat Specials of the Week. 10 pounds of fresh jumbo chicken wings at $19.95. Fresh baby back ribs, $2.99 a pound. And whole Packer T-bone steaks at $4.95 a pound. Sliced free. Only at Houston's Meat, Main Street and 295.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, this NBA game is ending, I guess, the way that we thought it would. Controversial calls, bad calls, timeouts, reviews. And now they're going to actually take another commercial break. So, officially, there's 6.5 seconds to go. Atlanta up 116-115. My guess is not seeing team fouls. I got to believe 2 free throws are coming.
Oh, yeah.
In that they're in the bonus. But now Atlanta's challenging a replay call, and I'm only reading that on ESPN.com. Again, they have commercials running actually on TNT. But Boston had 9.5 seconds to go, so instead of electing to take a shot, with let's say under 2 seconds left, they drove to the hoop. So even if they make their free throws, if Atlanta gets a timeout or has a timeout, they're going to be able to take it out at half court. So Atlanta is going to have an opportunity to win this game, regardless of these free throws. And we'll see what happens.
So Jason Tatum is going to the line down 1, shooting 2 free throws, and what looked like an offensive foul Oh, no, this isn't Tatum.
Nope. All right, so we have a tied game, 116 apiece, and they've added 0.8 of a second for Atlanta. So now there's 7.3 seconds remaining. Derek White at the line for the Boston Celtics. If they win tonight, they'll take this series in 5.
Nailed it.
So here comes the free throw, and that's good. And as expected, Atlanta is now going to take a timeout, and they'll get it at half court.
We've been
7.3
under
seconds to go.
a minute now in this game for like 20 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, and
every game ends like this. I cannot stand what they've done to the NBA. It's always been like a long 2 minutes, but with the reviews and just so much, and the challenges, it's so much worse now.
And that's one of the, that affects college basketball too. I mean, you can play 38 minutes, and then those last 2 minutes, you just never know, what to expect and exactly what is going to take place when it's all said and done. They've pulled the goalie in Carolina. Less than a minute to go. The Islanders up 3-2. So New York trying to stay alive there. We got a couple of teams on the brink doing everything they can to force another game. New York Islanders in Carolina down 3-1 in the best of 7 there. And, of course, as we have been talking about in the NBA, it looked like the Celtics were going to cruise. And then all of a sudden Atlanta went on what was a 15-2 fourth quarter run. And, again, right now Boston up 117 to 116. So the Hawks do take a full timeout. Just to let you know, tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Okay, Thursday night during the draft. The draft does not begin until 8. We're going to have our regular show, 6 to 8 on Thursday night. And then as well, we'll recap everything on Friday from 6 to 8, plus get you ready for rounds number 2 and 3 coming up on Friday. So it's going to be very interesting around here for the next couple of days. All right, let's see. We'll let you know what happens here. Atlanta is going to inbound the basketball. Again, 7.3 seconds remaining for the Atlanta Hawks. They're down 117 to 116 to the Boston Celtics. An ill-advised 3. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, that was
one of the worst shot selections of all time. He drilled a 3, and with 2 seconds left?
Well, I was about to say, and that's Young. That's Trey Young. I was about to say, what an ill-advised 3-point shot.
Drilled it.
I mean, that was about 5 feet behind the 3-point line.
With a guy right in his face.
And he still had a couple of seconds.
1.8.
So, what an unbelievable shot by the former All-American out of Oklahoma, Trey Young, with the shot there. So, I mean, this has a lot. I mean, this really hurts Boston, who obviously is looking ahead at Philadelphia. And I know no one's going to feel sorry for the Boston Celtics, but think about what's at stake here now. They could have closed this thing out tonight. Now instead, they're going to have to turn around and travel back to Atlanta to play a game coming up on Thursday night. And I don't even know what else to make out of it, man. They just let this thing completely get away late in the game. But wait till you see the highlight of this shot by Trey Young. I mean, that was just absolutely sick. Got to give him a lot of love for making that shot under those set of circumstances. All right, that's going to do it for us. Hacker will keep you updated as Boston has, less than 2 seconds remaining here in the game. As a matter of fact, they inbounds the ball. They say 0.5 left. Be interested to see if they review that, try to add a little bit of time. Bob Kraft, I see, is right next to the Celtics brass out on the court. All right, that'll do it. Thank you to JJ. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll talk to you tomorrow night, 6 to 8, right here on your home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars and Gators. Gators and Jaguars. Jacksonville's home sweet home of the Jaguars and Gators.
It's time to play Fix That Plumbing Problem. What do you do if you have a leaky pipe? Contestant 1. Put a bucket under it? That's it. And maybe a towel? Contestant 2. That's right! Just call the doc.
Clogged drains, leaky pipes to full repipes, just call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. Commercial, residential, any plumbing issue.
When you're stuck, call the duck. 904-862-6769.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Crystal, COO with Remedy Staffing. As employers, labor trends continue to keep us guessing. Is the job market strong? And what is worker availability going to look like? Well, February's BLS job report indicated that we have a hot job market and that Jacksonville's unemployment rate is 2.5%, 1% lower than our national average. So if you are interested in workforce solutions and how our team can help you, please call or text me at 904-329-9802.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for unlimited time, your consultation and first treatment are